Africa has a desert where the ground boils with acid. Another that was a lush green paradise full of hippos just 6,000 years ago and will be again. And one so hot, so relentless that it's literally called hell on earth. By the end of this video, you'll know which desert is the oldest on the planet, which one hits the highest temperatures, and which one could fit 500,000 copies of our smallest desert inside it. Stick around because that last fact about the Sahara, it's going to change how you see the entire continent. But let's start small, like really small. Number 10, the Lompoul Desert. The Lompoul Desert in Senegal is only 18 square kilometers. To put that in perspective, that's about the size of 2,500 football fields. You could walk across it in an afternoon. But don't let the size fool you. This little pocket of orange sand dune rises out of nowhere in the middle of Senegal's Green Sahel region, halfway between Dakar and St. Louis. It's like someone dropped a piece of the Sahara into the wrong neighborhood and just left it there. The sand is this brilliant burnt orange, and when the sun hits it at the right angle, the whole place glows. Locals have turned it into a destination. You can go sandboarding, ride camels, eat traditional meals under the stars, and because there's zero light pollution, the night sky is absolutely insane. The Lompoul even hosted a famous music festival, the Festival du Sahel, which helped put this tiny desert on the map before the event moved elsewhere. Best time to visit, November to December, when it's cooler and dry. But here is the thing, 18 square kilometers is nothing. So let's scale up. And at number 9 is the Namib Desert. The Namib Desert stretches along the entire Atlantic coast of Namibia and bleeds into Angola and South Africa. It covers over 81,000 square kilometers of some of the most otherworldly terrain on Earth. And here is the kicker. This is the world's oldest desert. It's been arid or semi-arid for at least 55 million years. Dinosaurs never saw this place green. The Namib is famous for its massive sand dunes, some of the tallest on the planet. Big Daddy and Dune 7 soar over 300 meters high. That's taller than the Eiffel Tower. And they are this deep, burnt orange red because the iron in the sand has been rusting for millions of years. The whole landscape looks like Mars. Then there's Dead Valley. Picture this, a bone-white clay pan, cracked and flat, dotted with the black skeletons of 600-year-old trees. They are surrounded by towering orange dunes and framed by an impossibly blue sky. It's one of the most surreal, most photographed places in Africa. It doesn't even look real. And somehow, life survives here. The Namib Desert beetle drinks fog, not water. Fog. It tilts its body at dawn and lets tiny droplets of moisture roll down into its mouth. There are geckos with webbed feet, side-winding snakes, and even desert-adapted elephants and rhinos that have learned to go days without water. You can climb the dunes, walk through Dead Valley at sunrise, or take a scenic flight to see the whole thing from above. The dunes crashing into the Atlantic Ocean like frozen waves. The Namib isn't just a desert, it's a living museum of evolution and deep time. It's the soul of Namibia. At 8 is the Chalbi Desert. Head up to northern Kenya, just east of Lake Turkana, the so-called cradle of mankind, and you will hit the Chalbi Desert. The name means bare and salty in the Garba language, and that tells you everything. This place used to be a massive prehistoric lake way bigger than Turkana. Thousands of years ago, the climate shifted, the water dried up, and what's left is a vast flat salt pan. No soft sand dunes here, just hard cracked clay stretching to the horizon. For most of the year, the Chalbi is a shimmering white expanse where the heat distorts everything and mirages flicker constantly. Temperatures are brutal, water is almost non-existent. But when the rains come, rare but heavy, the whole desert transforms overnight. The pan floats into a shallow temporary lake. The surrounding land explodes into green. Zebras, ostriches, and camels appear out of nowhere like it's some kind of miracle. The Chalbi is home to the Gabra people, nomadic herders whose entire existence revolves around camels. And I mean revolves. Camels provide milk, meat, transport, status, identity, everything. The Gabra have survived here for generations in conditions that will break most people. Visiting the Chalbi isn't a safari, it's an expedition. You'll need a serious 4x4 wheel drive, a skilled driver, and a solid plan. But if you make it, you'll see one of the most extreme and least visited deserts in Africa. It's raw, it's real, and it's absolutely unforgettable. Number 7, the Danakil Depression. Alright, now things get weird. The Danakil Depression or desert in northeastern Ethiopia is one of the most hostile places on earth. People call it the crucible of creation, or more accurately, hell on earth. It sits over 100 meters below sea level at the junction of 3 tectonic plates, which means the ground here is alive. Active volcanoes, bubbling sulfuric acid springs, vast salt flats that stretch forever. The colors are absolutely unreal. Neon yellows, acidic greens, brilliant whites from the salt deposit. It looks like an alien planet. In fact, scientists studied the Danakil because it's one of the closest analogs we have to early Earth, or even other planets. This is one of the hottest places on Earth year-round, with average temperatures above 34 degrees. Some days it hits 50 degrees or more. The air shimmers, the ground cracks. Nothing should be able to live here. The two most famous sites are the Lompoul, where sulfuric springs create these psychedelic neon landscapes that look like abstract art, and Ita'al, a permanently active volcano with one of only a handful of continuous lava lakes in the world. You can stand at the edge of the crater at night and watch the lava churn. It's primal, it's terrifying, it's beautiful. And somehow, people do live here. The Afar people have been mining salt from the flats for centuries, cutting it into bars and transporting it by camel caravan in a tradition that has remained unchanged for generations. Visiting the Danakil is not a casual trip. You need permits, armed guides, the region can be politically unstable, and serious preparations. But if you can handle the heat and the logistics, you will witness geological forces that shaped our planet in real time. At number 6 is the Kalahari Desert. Here is the thing about the Kalahari. It's technically a semi-desert, but don't let that fool you. Its spirit is pure wilderness. The Kalahari sprawls across Botswana, Namibia and South Africa, covering a massive area of red sand, dry grassland, scattered acacia trees, and ancient riverbeds that only flow once in a blue moon. It gets more rain than a true desert, but the water either evaporates instantly or sinks deep into the sand where nothing can reach it. So for most of the year, it's bone dry. This is the legendary home of the Sand Bushmen, some of the world's oldest cultures. They've lived here for tens of thousands of years and have mastered survival in conditions most people couldn't handle for a week. Their knowledge of plants, water sources, and animal behavior is staggering. The wildlife is iconic. Black-maned Kalahari lions, graceful gensbuck with their long straight horns, meerkats standing guard on termite mounds, and the ancient baobab trees which store thousands of liters of water in their massive trunks to survive the droughts. The Central Kalahari Game Reserve is one of the largest protected areas in the world, and it offers something rare: true solitude. No crowds, no luxury lodges, just you, the red sand, and the endless sky. And number 5 is the Karoo. The Karoo in South Africa is a desert of vast open spaces, dramatic skies, and a silence so deep it's almost physical. It's divided into the Great Karoo, of course rocky, mountainous, and stark, and the Little Karoo, which has more shrubs and vegetation. Both are defined by flat-topped hills called koppies and endless plains that stretch to the horizon. But here is the Karoo secret. It's a botanical wonderland. This is one of the only semi-arid regions in the world that qualifies as a biodiversity hotspot, especially for succulents. After the rare rains, the desert explodes into a riot of wildflowers. It's stunning. You will also find the Quickie half-man's tree, which leans north like it's pointing the way home, and the quiver tree, which the Sand people used to make quivers for their arrows. The Karoo is also a fossil hunter's paradise. It's packed with remains of pre-mammalian reptiles from the Permian period, millions of years before the dinosaurs. And if you're into stargazing, the Karoo's dry, clear air and zero light pollution make it one of the best places on Earth to see the night sky. It's home to the Southern African Large Telescope, one of the biggest optical telescopes in the world. At number 4 is the Libyan Desert. Now we're entering the true heartland of the Sahara. The Libyan Desert, which stretches across eastern Libya, western Egypt, and northwestern Sudan, is what most people imagine when they think desert: endless, empty, hostile. This is where you will find the great sand dune, a literal ocean of dunes stretching for hundreds of miles. Some dunes reach 140 meters high. That's a 45-story building made of sand. This is one of the most sun-scorched, driest places on Earth. Some weather stations here have recorded the highest average temperatures anywhere on the planet, and rain can go decades without falling. But despite the emptiness, the Libyan Desert holds incredible history. There's the Gilf Kebir, a massive sandstone plateau near the Egyptian border, which contains ancient cave paintings like the famous Cave of the Swimmers. These paintings show people swimming, hunting, and herding cattle, proof that this place was once green and full of life. Then there's the Siwa Oasis in Egypt, a lush, island of springs, and date palms that has been a strategic and cultural center for thousands of years. Alexander the Great famously visited Siwa to consult the oracle of Amun. The Libyan desert is vast, brutal, and steeped in mystery. And number 3 is the Nubian Desert. The Nubian Desert sits in northeastern Sudan, acting as a rocky, gravelly bridge between the Libyan Desert to the west and the Nile River to the east. Unlike the sand seas of Libya, the Nubian is mostly hamada, and that is rocky plateau and gravel plains. It's harsh, arid, and has served as a corridor for ancient trade routes connecting the African interior with the civilizations of the Nile. This desert is dotted with archaeological treasures from the ancient Nubian kingdoms which rivaled Egypt in power and wealth. The pyramids of Meroe, with their steep distinct sides, stand silent in the sand, reminders of a civilization most people have never heard of. The Nubian Desert feels ancient and empty, a stark buffer zone that has witnessed the flow of caravans, armies, and empires for millennia. Number 2, the Somali Desert. This is a desert defined by wind. The Somali Desert covers much of Somalia, eastern Ethiopia, and northeastern Kenya. It's shaped by the Karoo, a relentless scorching wind that blows from the interior to the coast during the dry season, making life here incredibly harsh. The landscape is a mix of rocky plains, sparse acacia scrub, and sandy stretches. And because it hugs the Indian Ocean, the Somali Desert has the longest coastline of any desert in Africa. This is the homeland of Somali nomadic pastoralists, whose culture revolves entirely around camel and goat herding. It's also where frankincense and myrrh trees grow, aromatic resins that were worth their weight in gold in the ancient world and are still harvested today. Political instability and extreme climate make the Somali Desert one of the least visited and most challenging deserts on the continent, but it's also one of the most culturally significant. At number 1 is the Sahara Desert. This is the giant. The Sahara isn't just a desert, it's a realm, a force of nature, a geographic legend. It's the largest hot desert in the world and the 3rd largest desert overall after Antarctica and the Arctic. It covers 9.2 million square kilometers, nearly the size of China or the entire United States. Let that sink in. You could fit all of Western Europe inside the Sahara and still have room left over. It spans 11 countries: Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, Western Sahara, Mauritania, Mali, Niger, Chad, and Sudan. And here is what most people get wrong. Only about 25% of the Sahara is sand dunes. The rest is barren stone plateaus, gravel plains, dry valleys called wadis, and even mountain ranges like the Ahaga and Tibesti, which get occasional snow. The Sahara is the hottest desert in Africa, with some of the highest reliably recorded temperatures on Earth, over 50 degrees in places. It's home to legendary oases like those in Morocco's Dra Valley and Egypt's Fayoum, which have supported life and trade for thousands of years. The Tuareg people, the blue men of the desert, are the nomadic masters of this expanse, navigating it with knowledge passed down through generations. And here's that mind-blowing fact I promised. The Sahara is not permanent. It undergoes a natural cycle every 20,000 years or so, shifting between dry desert and lush green savanna due to changes in the Earth's axial tilt. The last green Sahara peaked around 6,000 to 10,000 years ago. Back then, it was covered in lakes, rivers, grasslands, and wildlife: hippos, crocodiles, elephants. Ancient rock art found in the middle of today's barren wasteland shows people hunting, fishing, and herding cattle. One day, the Sahara will be green again. From the tiny Lompoul to the colossal Sahara, these deserts define Africa's extremes. They are places of beauty, harshness, history, and survival. Each one tells a story about time, adaptation, and the raw power of nature. Which desert surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more extreme geography, hit that subscribe button now. There's a lot more where this came from. Thanks for watching.